Grandpa was an amazing person, and he left us with so many great memories. Of course, personally, some of my best memories are of my wedding day. It was a treasured memory for us that Grandma and Grandpa were able to be there. It was also so special that all of the candle holders at our reception were handmade and painted by Grandpa. Directly or indirectly, Grandpa is a big part of some of my fondest memories. As I was thinking about all that I could share about him, it struck me how he always kept such a positive attitude. When things went wrong or didn't go according to plans, he always seemed to roll with it and look at the bright side of things. He once got a fish lure stuck in his thumb trying to unhook a northern that I caught on Fish Lake. Even as we drove to the doctor's office, he was teasing me about catching the big one. As I've grown older, I've realized that so much of life is uncontrollable. Despite our best efforts to plan things out and control our own destinies, there are just too many variables. The only thing we are consistently in control of is our attitude, and I've always tried to reflect Grandpa's positive attitude. His legacy is as positive as his attitude. Grandpa loved spending time with his grandkids. When we were little, he used to give the best back rubs. We would fight over who would get the first one, and then fight over who would get the next one. I'm not sure when or how they started, but I'm pretty sure he wanted us to just quit fighting and settle down, spend some time next to him. And that's just what we did. When we got older, we would spend time with Grandma and Grandpa during the summer, and he would always take us out golfing, sometimes at his own peril. One time he had been in the cornfield searching for some of our lost balls, and he emerged through to the rough just as my next shot whizzed by his head. He always swore he read the word Titleist as it was flashing before his eyes, and we believed him. It was a pretty close shot. We loved all the time we spent on the course with him, though the hours on the links never produced a Tiger Woods among us. However, we shot better scores than Tiger. Thanks to a public education, our math skills were even worse than our golf skills. But Grandpa never called us on the shots that we couldn't remember. He just made sure we remembered all the fun we had together. Grandma and Grandpa have always been so generous to us. Besides all the time they spent with us, they spoiled us with toys and clothes and bikes and video games and bats and balls and hats and gloves and on and on and on. For seemingly every holiday that Hallmark recognizes, there was a card with a check in it. They have always been so generous to us. Grandpa's generosity extended to more unusual gifts as well. If he needed a tap light, but the 10-pack was a better bargain, we all got a tap light. If he couldn't imagine his life without an atomic clock, we all got an atomic clock. He also tried never to throw away that which he could give away. When I was visiting last November, he gave me a 1950s mileage map from the Auto Club. When you spin it to your current city, it correctly displays mileage to get to all other major cities. Evidently, Grandpa was not familiar with MapQuest. One of my favorite used gifts from him is a well-worn tire wrench that runs off the cigarette lighter in your car. You simply plug it in to change tires like an Indy 500 pit crew. I've used it twice on the freeways of LA, and it still works as good as new. We got accustomed to unusual things showing up from time to time, and of all the strange and unexpected things I received, this is my favorite. This is a 400-piece puzzle of Cleveland Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar. It was sent to me with some important stuff that he sent to Dad 9 or 10 years ago. I love it because it says so much about Grandpa. First, that Grandpa loved to bargain as I do. He picked this up at Unclaimed Freight Store, which many of you know is a place where the post office makes money off all the undeliverable items they get stuck with. This is definitely a store for bargain hunters like us. Now you can see that the original price there is $10 or $9.99, and it got knocked down to half price, just $5. And by the time Grandpa spotted this deal, it had been slashed again to just 99 cents. That is an unbelievable bargain. What is that, like 90% off? Long after all the Christmas gifts were purchased and stored for 6 months and wrapped and placed under the tree, Grandpa would go out bargain shopping with us during the last shopping hours before Christmas. I can't remember if anything we bought ever was a bargain, but maybe it was just a ploy to get us out of the house. I do remember a few times that he signed up for credit cards in order to get a free set of drinking glasses or a necklace that he would wrap and put under the tree for Grandma. These were an excellent bargain, as he never completely filled out the information, so he never had to use the credit cards that he signed up for. He never even received them. Bargain or not, I'm not sure why Bernie Kosar of the Cleveland Browns. As a grade schooler, I was a front runner and a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you might know that Grandpa liked to write on the Christmas presents that they were from Santa or Rudolph or whoever. That's if they even had tags at all. Sometimes he just passed them out according to their size and their shape and hoped the right person got the right gifts. One year I got a Dallas Cowboys number 12 jersey from, of course, Roger Staubach, and being only 7 or 8, I didn't make the connection. I spent the rest of Christmas vacation dreaming of wearing it to school and telling all my classmates that my friend Roger sent me a jersey for Christmas. A few days before school started, Mom and Dad called in and made Grandpa tell me the truth. Of course, I hated Grandpa for nearly a week. So he probably knew full well that I wasn't a Browns fan. Maybe it's because he knew I loved football. We always brought a football up with us when we would stay during the summer. I remember one year that we were ready to head back, and Grandpa was having trouble getting all of our stuff packed in the car, and he just had us get in the back seat while he rearranged it one more time. I remember the football had been right on top of the suitcases in the trunk. After a few minutes of playing around with it, he figured it out and we were on our way. But when we arrived home, we discovered that the football was flat and it had been kind of slit open, like with a razor blade. Eric and I have some theories about that, but maybe Grandpa remembered I love football and he remembered the trunk incident. But when I first got the puzzle, it reminded me of something else. The Bible said that we who are believers of Christ are loved and chosen by God before the creation of the world in Ephesians 1:4. It also says that while we were enemies of God, Christ died for us, Romans 5:10. You see, when there was no reason to even think about us, let alone love us, God chose to do exactly that. And while there's no particular reason for Grandpa to have thought about me when he saw this 400-piece Bernie Kosar Cleveland Browns quarterback puzzle, he did exactly that because he loved me. I'm sure Grandpa couldn't have possibly known how much this would mean to me. But because of Jesus Christ, I will be able to share that memory with him someday. Until then, it continues to remind me that my Heavenly Father will always love me and always think about me. And so will my grandfather. We miss you, Grandpa, but we'll see you soon.